Viewer note: this story is purely fictional and intended for entertainment purposes only. However, some content may be disturbing to certain audiences. Viewer discretion is advised. Chapter 25. Epilogue. Shifting Perception. We can all reach the seventh parallel reality. Jupiter had just finished a simulation drill, one focused on network, communication protocol, vulnerabilities. The data streams on screen had just settled back to zero. A green light on the training platform lit up steadily, signaling mission complete. He rubbed his eyes. They were a little sore, his vision slightly blurred from staring at the virtual interface for too long. But his mind? It was unusually clear. Just then, a new topic popped up on the platform's public discussion board, and it caught his attention immediately. The subject? Parallel realities. A trainee from the European sector had posted a short thread. Has anyone else experienced something like this? You drop something like right in front of you, and it just vanishes. Then, days later, it reappears in the exact same spot, untouched. Or that thing called the Mandela effect, where a bunch of people all misremember the same detail, like our collective memory got rewritten or something. How do you explain that? Comments poured in quickly. What about déjà vu? That feeling like you've been in a situation before, like you dreamed it. I heard it's related to quantum observation effects, that our consciousness chooses which reality branch we enter. Lol. Some people go even further. They think the human collective subconscious is like one big database, and sometimes we all sync by accident. I think it all comes down to consciousness. Reality is just how our brain interprets information. Every choice we make jumps us into a corresponding parallel timeline. Jupiter scrolled through the posts, nodding slightly to himself. He'd actually experienced some of those things himself, like that time his favorite gaming chip had slipped off the edge of his desk. He'd watched it fall and searched the floor for it forever. Couldn't find it anywhere. But a week later, it was just sitting there, right where it had fallen, as if it had never disappeared at all. He thought it was weird. And now, one comment in particular stood out. It's all about consciousness. Reality is just how the brain interprets information. Every choice we make jumps us into a corresponding parallel timeline. If you believe that global unity is a beautiful thing, you'll live in a unity frequency world. People with similar frequencies will naturally gather, and the world changes with you. But if you believe survival of the fittest is the rule, then that's the jungle you'll live in. Jupiter's fingers hovered above the virtual keyboard. He didn't type right away. Instead, he looked out the window at the city skyline. There was no smog, no slums, no alarms, no walls. He thought about everything he'd seen, done, and heard these past years. Families once crushed by poverty now had basic security and dignity. People once tormented by illness now received timely care and compassion. Nations once threatened by war and sanctions now had the right to develop and lived in peace. And those who once lived only for money and power, they were learning how to contribute to others, to society, to civilization. He remembered something his training instructor once told him. The power of human consciousness is far beyond what we can imagine. Cleaning up the old world's toxins was purification on a physical level, but spiritual unity and elevation? That's the foundation that keeps civilization alive. And if there was even a shred of truth to the idea of parallel realities, then Jupiter stared at the phrase highlighted on screen. You become what you believe. And suddenly, he felt something rise up inside him, a sense of responsibility, deeper than any mission he'd had before, bigger than guarding digital borders, intercepting attacks, or tracking strange signals. What he was protecting now might not just be the safety of the physical world. It might also be this hard-won frequency, the one where humanity had chosen to trust, to cooperate, to empathize, to hope. Were those falling objects, memory shifts, or déjà vu flashes? really just random glitches in the fabric of time? Or were they signs, warnings, reminders that humanity's collective consciousness could still drift away from this hard-won path? Jupiter closed the discussion thread. On screen, the emblem for the Human Civilization Security and Defense Corps Reserve Unit glowed softly, a quiet pulse of light. A reminder? A calling? He took a deep breath. This responsibility, it might be even heavier than he'd thought. But he didn't hesitate. He clicked open the next task. Analysis of encrypted communication protocols. A new challenge. A new line of defense. And Jupiter knew, as long as humanity chooses to believe in the light, as long as each of us is willing to become that light, then, without even realizing it, we've already arrived at that place they call the seventh parallel reality. A reality that is more peaceful, more just, more compassionate, more true to our essence. A new frequency for a new civilization of humanity.